Okay, so where we last left off, our group had just talked the what they found out to be a sentient plesiosaur. I'm thinking Monster Hunter, which is sentient plesiosaur, would be horrifying. Um,
Oh no.
yeah, exactly. Hip checks from in the lake. You guys are in in your tavern. Hip check to the wall. Um,
Right.
that thing is monster. Anyways, you guys just talked to the sentient plesiosaur named Fred, and talked it out of sinking ships with the promise that the druid can't take back its gift, so on and so forth. When you got back, you decided not to tell what's her name? What's their name about the notebook? You still have the notebook. I need to pull that up because I would like to know the name. Edit. Let me put completed here too. Okay. Okay, so you chose to not tell. Their name is Tally. Tally. You decided not to tell Tally that you actually have the notebook because you weren't quite sure if you could trust them. They were dejected and went back to the buried treasures where you guys actually stayed for the night as well. And I believe that's basically where you guys left off. Uh, is there anything over the night that you guys would have wanted to do?
Not for me.
So nice not having to build stuff in your long rest, right? Thinking that whole like thing, yeah. But anybody else, or is it just waking up and tackling the new day kind of thing?
I'd be waking up, tackling the new day.
Right, as usual.
Yeah.
Typical.
Okay. So as you guys wake up, who would be one of the first to wake up? Is it still you, right thing? Or
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much automatic at this point.
so you probably wake up probably right around the same time as everybody, but just slightly before, and head downstairs. You see Tali down there, probably packing up the things, and they look up at you like, "Oh, good. I wanted to say once again, thank you for attempting to get more information. I didn't want to seem rude yesterday by just storming off. I was just a little mm, dejected about the whole thing, but I didn't want you guys thinking that you did all that work for nothing. It's not quite what I built up as a reward, but I think this would do just fine." And they go to hand you a scroll.
I take the scroll and I tell her that studying nature can be unpredictable. Just because it failed one time, gotta try again.
And they smile and they're like, "Yes, that is exactly what I plan to do. I'm going to check around the other towns on this lake to see if they have more information. But in the meantime, that scroll, in the future, if you ever have problems with magics, that scroll can it's a scroll of the remove magic. I'm trying to think the exact spell. Oh, because I have it up. But I need dispel. It's a that scroll can dispel magic of a certain level. So I hope it comes in handy in the future.
Thank you very much. good luck finding out what's out there on the lake.
They
At
nod.
least you know there is something out there.
Yes, and I just hope it's not nearly the monster everybody thinks it is. Certain natural creatures are so misunderstood after all. And with that, they pick up their bags and they start to head out.
We're gonna have to make it up to her after this, after we deal with the person blackmailing the thing. Damn it. I say that in my brain.
Yeah. With that, I think the rest of everybody would start filtering down probably over the next hour. Is there anything people would like to do in the morning?
Go get some food. Don't know how much that would cost though. So
Yeah, usual chunks of cooked meat.
Yeah. So you guys end up at a table, and the innkeeper, a middle-aged woman, walks over. She's like, "Well, hello, darlings. Can I get you something to eat? Some breakfast? We have a nice porridge. Porridge.
take whatever you got.
Heck yeah. Sounds good.
Porridge coming up. It is warm, nice and warm. I just finished cooking it myself." And she bushes off to go get you guys some bowls. Takes a couple minutes, comes back, balancing the bowls on her arms, slides them onto the table for you. Like, it's word's spreading around town about you helping out and whatnot. I'd like to thank you guys. Like this, as part of it, this meal is on me.
Oh, thank you.
If you guys are looking for more work, those tavern keepers over in the 5 Tavern Center are bemoaning their dwindling supply of ale and spirits. I bet they'd be willing to reward heroes like you a bunch if you offered your help.
What do you think, boys?
And
That would be fine with me.
yeah, and the 5 Tavern Center is just north of you in town. That's where you got some of your information yesterday, White Fang.
Nice.
So, and with that, she leaves you guys to your meal.
Enjoy porridge.
It's a nice porridge. It's decently thick, so it fills you up, and it has that nice warm with probably a little bit of honey to sweeten it up nicely.
Very nice. Honey is a little scarce, I'd imagine.
Yeah, it's probably not very much, just enough to sweeten it up. But that's on the menu for today. So, what would you guys like as you guys eat?
What do you guys think we should do? Because there's an evil druid running around, working for the Frostmaiden, and, well, I believe we're the ones that can stop the winter, on all honesty.
Right, but they did say there's something we can help here while we're here currently, though, right? So
That's true.
The tavern could use our help. We don't know what exactly it entails. And if you said that, I do apologize.
They'll be moaning their shortage of spirits and ale, and they could probably reward you for it, is what she said.
Gotcha.
But you don't know what that entails getting them more, or why they have dwindling in the first place.
hear him out at least to see what we can, if there's anything we can do.
A rock, Neo.
I'm fine with helping them if everybody's okay with that.
Right, I'm down to go.
Alright. We'll help out the tavern.
So you guys finish up your nice porridge, and you head over to the 5 taverns. So when you get over there, what you find is the same 5 taverns that you found yesterday, White Fang. Though there is one, like, center one that, like, is in the center of the 5. That would be this one here. When you guys go into one of them, and it doesn't particularly matter which one you guys want, that's just up to you guys. You see a tavern keeper probably talking to a steward of his. He looks to be in his early 20s, human.
Just gonna simply approach as one normally does.
You walk up and it's like, oh, the heroes of the town, welcome, welcome. What brings you to my fine establishment today?
Oh, we heard you need some help, some assistance.
Yeah, it's true. We're running low on booze, but I have a plan. You see, I've heard rumors of a pirate ship stuck in the ice off the coast, and where there's a pirate ship, there might be rum. If you head out to search its hold and bring back any alcoholic beverages you find, I'd offer a fair price for all. Easy work for you, and if you don't find anything, I'll still give you 10 gold each for your trouble.
There's no doubt.
What, Nick?
We need the money.
What was that, Nick?
There's no downside to that.
This actually strikes you, Neo, because you remember this is the town you stumbled across when you got out of the blizzard from your pirate ship years ago. This is striking a chord with you. And he's like, well, yes, there's no downside for you. That's exactly what I was saying. If you would like, and I'm moving you guys back to the full map now. Boom, boom. As you can see, the pirate ship is off to the northwest from us here at Bremen. So it shouldn't take you too long to get there. Maybe a day's journey. What do you say? Do we have a deal?
Well, what do you guys think?
You need to go have to steal from them. But, I mean, we're just stealing from one person to give to another who got stolen from before. It's a cycle.
It's a shipwreck. It's ruined, basically.
That's how all artifacts in history get passed down. They're all stolen. They all end up in museums, which are just stolen by somebody else. End up in a different museum.
That's a fair point. Well, if you guys would like to, I would say we can.
I'm down for
Alright.
quoting history.
Alright. Seems like we're in agreement. We have an accord.
He's like, oh, good. I can't remember if you guys actually have a map of Icewind Dale.
Could
I
have
think if anything, Theo probably would have one. Just from his time exploring the woods and whatnot, and his father having a general store, he probably picked one up before he left.
I think I remember. I was just about to say. I think I remember getting a map because I think I remember like the memory of us giving it to him.
But either way, whether you have a map or not, I'm gonna say you do because that seems like my mind is saying you guys have one too. So he points on the map and he's like, over here, and he makes a mark on your map. Uh, that is where it is. Up in the top left corner, I put a check mark now. He's like, it's off the coast that way, so it's a little bit away, but you guys are, after dealing with that monster in the lake, you guys are the strongest people I know.
Diplomacy is very strong.
We're the strongest people anybody knew.
Alright. I say we make sure to get an extra, maybe a day or so of food, because we don't know what's going to happen out there. We're taking the sleds and stuff. I'd rather be safe than sorry and get hunkered down in some storm that might last for who knows how long.
Yeah.
I would agree with this.
Yes. Let me see here. About my healing kit. I still have 7 charges on it. That should be fine, right? Oh no, I have 2 of them. I have 7.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Alright, yeah, let's stock up on some food before we go.
What I should have done is burn my spell slots the night before.
You could have if you wanted to, because we kind of ended with that. So
Okay, because I still had 3 spell slots. If I cast it twice to make 2 sets of good berries, that would give enough for us and the sleds, right?
yeah.
No, we have 12 dogs, and then us 4. So, yep.
Two, you would have 6 extra.
Yep. So, 20 total, and then I'll give 1 to everybody. So each one of you guys have it for nourishment for the day.
Okay.
And then I'll hold on to it, so if we need it, then I can give it out as well. But at least that way you guys have some sort of nourishment.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Theo.
I appreciate.
I've been meaning to switch one of my spells out for good barrier, but I don't know how that works on roll 20.
You basically just delete one of the spells you don't want. And
Yeah, but if there's something you could else use it, I mean, I have good berries, and I don't cast spells very often, so if you want to save it,
yeah.
I do.
Something higher.
I do actually have good berry. I didn't realize that. Shoot. Oh, I should also refill my level 2.
Having spell slots is so
While
nice.
You guys are buying food and stuff. I'd like to cast Find Familiar.
Oh. Okay. Did you want to? Can't you do that as a ritual?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I was gonna take 10 minutes while they were buying food.
No problem.
And I was going to. Oh shoot! I don't remember the options. Was one of them an owl?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to have an owl, please.
A snowy owl. I know somebody who would approve of that.
Harry Potter.
No, oh, by the way, Nick, you missed out. Theo multi-classed to a cleric and spoke to a god last time.
Yeah, he speaks to me every week.
I mean, I appreciate, Nick, that you did that, like, straight face and everything. That was
smooth,
quick.
Nick.
That was quick. Um, so, what I'm gonna do...
And it's
I
gonna
believe...
be Fey template, of course.
Okay, so I'm gonna drag this out. That should create... Oh, let me... okay, apparently it's already in here, so we go... Ow. I know it's not a wired shape. Edit. Duplicate. That's what I want. Boom. Okay, and then this is edit.
Sorry about this.
No, this is fine because I can. Boom and boom. Okay, so you should have access. I'll move up to your actual. Boom.
Where would I find that?
It's being moved.
Oh, okay.
Now it should be in your character folder.
Ah, yes. Thank you. I'm gonna think of a name for this while everyone does their thing.
Yeah, I can change its name, but that's what that is. So we have people going for food. What particularly does rations in general?
Yep, just stocking up on rations and what would be needed for like keeping the sleds fed and stuff like that.
Okay.
I mean, the good berries is enough to sustain us for a day at a time, but there's no guarantee I'll always have a spell slot at the end of the day.
Oh yeah, no, I understand.
White Fang will have one as well.
I can technically cast Goodberry if things get really, really bad.
Yeah.
Right, but just in case, it's good to make sure we have rations and not rely solely on magic. That is a thing that can be spent.
Yeah. Not to mention, no, yeah, none of you guys are Outlanders. Outlanders are great for wilderness like this.
I mean, I can.
Believe as a ranger, you basically are.
Yeah. I can
but
forage for food.
yeah,
When you forage, you find twice as much food as you normally would, but if it's in the middle of a storm,
it's hard to forage. Yeah.
right, exactly.
But yeah, so your hours should be all worked out, and whatnot. So, no problem. Anybody else doing anything other than getting rations? Rations will be the normal price that they normally are. So, it's such a long time since I've had to buy rations. They are 5 silver for a day.
I'm gonna name
it
him
cut out.
5 silver a day for rations.
Oh, that's not too bad.
How many days rations are we planning on getting?
Well, it depends on how many you have. Rations typically, much as the joke against it is, are like hardtack and jerky, stuff that doesn't go bad. So you and your inventory, Nick,
I have 13 of them.
you have 13 rations.
As do I.
That's probably fine for your individual character.
Right.
But you also have to think of Theo's thinking of the dogs. And that's not to say what the other two like White Fang and Iraq have.
I also have 13. And I have mending as well, so in case we need to fix shit, we might want to take extra supplies to fix shit, but with mending, we don't have to.
I also have the wood carvers that I could aid with that too, if say the sled goes bad or something like that.
Or
I
that's
have
what those rails or something.
Yeah.
yeah, I have 10 days of rations.
Yeah. So you guys.
And
In
an
what?
herbalism kit that I haven't had a chance to try out yet.
So, as something you can do with the herbalism kit, I know you can make potions of healing.
Yeah, just, have lesser ones.
Actually, I'm reading through the stuff, because we've stayed every night at a place that feeds the dogs for us.
Yeah.
Um, we actually, when we got the dogs, we have 1 week of rations per dog. So
Yeah, could you?
each sled is good for a week with rations already on it solely for the dogs.
I mean,
So just letting you guys know, I'm gonna get another day's rations just to be safe out of my own gold, since I have my dogs that I want to keep good.
Does this place sell climbing kits too, or no?
You could probably find one if you wanted to, but they could probably be a little bit expensive.
I should do this in days. Excuse me.
Mike,
Yes.
the owl's name shall henceforth be Duke.
Duke? Okay, I'll go and change his name in the thing here.
So my dogs are good for 8 days.
Boom.
Yeah, I like
Here.
Al.
His name is now Duke.
Yay.
Put him down here, right under your name. Boom. So, climbing kit, Nick. Let me look up the price for that.
I did not mean to click that.
Very distinguished woman.
Damn it, I just wanted to read what it could do. I didn't mean to put
Well,
it in
now
chat.
everybody can read what it can do. So, Nick, your climbing kit
Shame.
I know, I feel deep shame.
would cost 25 gold.
Well, I have 25 gold, so we aren't doing that.
Actually, you do.
Yeah.
I'm still holding on to everybody's bloodstone. Each one's worth 50 GP. I already gave one to Forgotten, but everyone else still has theirs available. So I can divvy that out if everybody wants their own respective bloodstone.
How much gold do you need, Nick?
I only have 10.
So, yeah, you need
'Cause
15.
Last time I played, I bought that really expensive big bow.
I can give you gold, or do you want to use your bloodstone and get so you have your own money? I'm okay with any choice. I don't mind.
Yeah, I used the bloodstone.
Okay, so I'll give you your bloodstone. It says bloodstones are worth 50 GP each.
Yeah. And with such a stuff like that, unless you guys are trying to get higher or want to roleplay, I'll typically let you sell them from that.
Do you guys just want to sell all those now while we're in town, and that way I don't have to hold on to the bloodstones?
Sure.
Okay, because then that would be for down to 4 still left in the inventory. That would give around
200 total.
I1, and then 50 GP into the group fund.
Yep.
Into the dog fund.
I mean, that's part of the group fund. So I'll put that. Yeah, Nick already edited that. Okay, and then you could just subtract 25 if you want to climb a skit, Nick.
Yeah, I feel that would be necessary where we're going.
Can we also sell the pink moss gemstone that we got that's worth 10 GP while we're in town too?
I don't think anybody probably has.
No, I'm asking if we can.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to add that into our group fund as well, so that gives us 60 GP into our group fund.
Oh, yeah, it's upset because I have that out.
Don't think I have anything else worth of numerical value.
And none.
I see it, Mike.
Got upset because I had it open twice. I had something popped out. Okay, so any other shopping people would like to do?
axe would be fine too.
If we didn't have a sled, I would have been tempted to buy an axe beak, but we have a sled.
What's an axe beak?
Oh, what's an axe beak, Nick? Well, let me just pull up a picture and show you what an axe beak is. This is an axe beak.
Dude, that thing's awesome. Chocobo.
It
I'd say I want to buy one anyway.
50 GP. Basically, your bloodstone if you want one.
I mean,
but you also had to feed it and whatnot. They will
Yeah, but
the mounts.
One feed for that is gonna be cheaper than the feed for 6 dogs.
Yeah.
I'm about it. I'll give them the money. Can we find one of these before we leave?
You probably could. Let me
A domesticated axe beak can be purchased in 10 towns for 50 GP.
and you found that in the 10 towns.
I'm on D&D Beyond.
Oh, okay. So I do know I have that.
You'd probably find them in the same place as we put the dogs up.
This has a speed of 50 and a carry capacity of 420.
I can't even carry my fat
I
ass.
need this thing now.
Well, if that's the case, I don't think we need 2 sets of dogs. Well, no, we still do, unless everyone else is buying one. Because if that's the case, we might be able to trade sled dogs for it. Because a sled dog.
If you, yeah, you.
50 GP, one sled dog is 50 GP.
Yeah, if you wanted to trade out the one of the, I believe the axe beaks can pull a sled too.
Yes. They can pull a carriage, cart, chariot, sled, or wagon.
I mean, I was just gonna buy one because, like, I feel like a rock would.
What? Yeah. I'm trying to find because there is something. Welcome to the North, is it? No.
It does say they have a nasty disposition and tends to attack any unfamiliar creature that wanders too close to it.
You're not selling Kelly against it. that.
That just makes it. That makes us match. That explains why we get along.
I like to imagine a rock would run up and like hug its neck as it pets it. As it's trying to peck it.
Does anyone else want to switch out a dog for an axe beak?
Yeah, I guess I'll use my.
You don't. We don't have to. I'm keeping my sled.
Overview.
Like
that's
dogs.
what.
I'm full out just buying one. So. Like,
Yeah, but if,
Yeah.
Okay, an axe beak, splayed toes, run across the snow, and it can carry as much weight as a mule, and it's 50 GP. Yeah, so yeah, that's the only information I have looking. So you guys have at least have one.
same rations.
Yeah, it takes it's probably the same day's worth of rations.
Instead of feeding 12 dogs, we're feeding one axe beak.
well, we have 2 sleds. So I have my 6 dogs pulling my sled, and then another 6 dogs pulling whoever else's sled.
Now you want.
And I personally own an axe beak.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to keep the other sled, we can keep the other sled, or we can
I'm
sell
down
the
with
other
keeping
6
it.
dogs.
I'm down with keeping it.
Okay.
Now, do you
Okay,
want
when
to
you pull-
bring? Do you want to bring both of them with you guys, like both sleds?
I think we're gonna have to, because not our White Fang, Neo, and I can't all fit on one sled. That's the reason we were out with 2 sleds.
I was just
That's
curious.
what I was like, and I figure just another type of mobility couldn't be a bad thing.
No, you're not wrong.
Well-
I'm not saying anything about that.
Oh yeah, no, I know. I was just saying, like, when I realized, I was like, oh, I can ride that. Yeah, let's get one. I'm about it.
Yeah, I was gonna get one to mainly ride too, so we wouldn't have to maintain such a.
Lavish.
And
Dogs.
our rations just five silver.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm
Well,
gonna buy.
so we could, if you guys want to save the gold, we could get rid of 2 of the dogs because they cost the same. So we could see if the shopkeep would be okay switching a sled dog for an axe beak, and maybe be able to save money. And then one sled's getting pulled by 4, and one's getting pulled by 6, and it'd still be comparable.
I mean,
It'd
I'd be
be-
about it.
Yeah, and it'd be more what do you call it, feasible than having what 12 dogs.
Well, we would still have the same quantity of rations unless we got rid of the other 4 dogs. But then you would have to, someone else would have to get an axe beak. Unless you and
Well,
I
that
can
we
both
could
ride
just-
on.
I
Well,
was
can Neo and I ride on the same sled together?
How much can the sled? I'm pretty sure the sled can carry that much.
Because I'm 270 pounds and I'm carrying 138 pounds of weight. So I'm a little bit over a little bit over 400 pounds.
So a sled dog can pull 360 pounds.
Individually.
Yes, there's 6 of them.
So you times that by 6, that's 1,800.
Yeah.
How much
so
does the sled weigh?
Like
the sled
200,
weighs 300 pounds.
300. So that's 700. So Theo definitely doesn't weigh 1,100.
Right.
Yeah.
If
So-
so, he's going on a fucking diet.
But even if there's,
Even with the supplies, you still don't weigh that.
and but we still also got to make sure Forgotten can and would Forgotten be able to get. Well, here's the thing though. We don't have to. What am I thinking? We don't have to get rid of the sled. One of you guys can still pull the sled.
Yeah, with your axe.
Someone can ride the axe beak and then they can still pull the sled.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought that's what we were doing.
It didn't click in my mind. I'm sorry. So yeah, if we can, I guess we'll sell 6 of the trade off 6 of the dogs, 2 of them for axe beaks, and then sell the other 4 and keep the sled.
Go ahead, and this will be whoever wants to roll this, not specifically anybody. And roll me a persuasion.
Can I give advantage on anyone who's
I
doing
got
a
this.
persuasion?
I think either me or Rock would have to make that roll.
Oh wait, I can't give aid on persuasion. I'm not proficient with it.
Well, I mean, I guess we could aid each other.
Are you proficient, right thing, in persuasion?
No, I'm not.
I'm plus one. in
Well,
persuasion.
then what you're +1. What are you, Rock?
4.
So what I would recommend is it would be your proficiency aid right thing.
There you go. We'll do that. That sounds like a.
And you're talking to the shopkeep. You're trying to persuade him that the 6 dogs are more than worth the money that you want for them and 2 axe beaks.
They've been well maintained.
If you roll between a 5 and 15, I will give you at cost for them.
Oh,
in
they're
trade?
way more feasible too. They're dogs, not this giant creature.
Asshole, yeah.
Yeah, this giant creature.
And
like,
above
everybody.
15, I was gonna move up the price a little bit. That's what I was about to say.
I can't get onto the chat tab. What was my roll?
20.
Not
Yeah.
nat 20.
Yeah, an unnatural 20. That.
I'm,
Yeah,
like,
dirty
walking
20.
by in the background. Those
So-
are some nice dogs. Keep walks by in a different disguise. Wow, these dogs are really nice. Those axe beaks are horrible. Keeps walking.
They bit me.
Gas
So
this guy.
I think what they do is they buy your dogs, and they only charge you 25 for each axe beak.
Woohoo!
Okay. So 1 dog pays for 2 axe beaks, and we have.
So you have 5 dogs at 50, so 250.
So 250. Cool. Put that into the group fund.
Can we get our axe beaks added to our sheets?
Sure. There shouldn't be too much, but let me just give you guys rights
Just
to.
wanna name it, get attached to it, and get
Oh.
sad when it dies.
Okay.
I did the naming of that in my game
What's
notes
your
for the
name, my
sled
axe
dogs.
Yeah, he just named them in his notes.
Mr.
Uh,
Chocobo. That should be your axe beak's name.
But I'll just hit this so you guys can have this if I need you to make attack rolls for it.
We're gonna put in
I,
like a general.
I'm just gonna give you guys rights to it. Just don't edit it.
I also snagged the rations from the sled, so I
Yeah.
added those rations, so that gives us 7
So
another
you-
week's worth of rations. for
So
the dogs.
did you guys sell the extra sled, or are you guys tying it to one of yours?
We're gonna tie it to one of
Okay.
Axe beaks.
Okay, I was just making sure.
And I kept my 6 dogs. I'm already attached to them. They've got names and everything.
Yeah. No, I know
I
that.
did that first thing as soon as we started.
I know you did. I know you did. So now that you have 2 axe beaks and a lot more money and down 4 mouths to feed.
Axe beaks.
3?
Didn't he just trade
Yeah.
2 for a dog?
Oh yeah, 3 because you bought your individual one. Wait, no, I was doing the math for the individual one with you too.
Oh no,
Yeah,
I
I
bought one. I
bought-
already
Oh.
took my money out.
So yeah,
Bought
so
one
you have
way
3.
before all that happened.
Yeah.
Like, the minute that it happened, and I said I
Yeah.
got
No,
one, I took my money
I
out.
bought one for myself too with my gem.
So you guys have
Oh, so we have 4 or 5?
4.
No, we have 4. We have 4.
I was so sorry. The reason I was saying we could sell the dogs is to lessen the mouth and to save you guys the money. Because the dogs was a.
And that's where I got
So
confused.
you guys could save your 50 gold that you just spent, and it would still be yours. I'm not trying to take them from you. Theo's not trying to take them from you.
He's just trying to save you guys the 50 gold.
Save you guys 25 gold each.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
fine with dropping one and having one dedicated to pulling the sled.
Yeah.
If we had 2,
Or we could have,
we
or we could have
we
both
would
pull
still
the
have
sled.
2 axe beaks.
So how?
We would have 3 then.
Yeah, 3 total. 1 dedicated to the 1 or 2 dedicated to the cart, depending on who's driving, and then 1 for Iraq separate. And 1 is specifically also White Fangs tied to the cart, helping pull the cart with him.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then if that's
And if you guys need to, you could disconnect the cart, and you can have the 2 on the cart carry 2 of you. Okay.
So
Alright, so
White
we have
Fang can
3.
get your monies back. Yes.
All right. Yeah. Okay. I'll get my monies back.
Yeah.
alright, so the 2 dogs. One of the dogs bought White Fangs and the groups.
Yeah.
And a rock bought his own.
Yep.
Yes. Affirmative.
Okay.
Sounds good to me. So, what is the plan now?
Start
I'm
the
gonna head
travel.
out to the location.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so this is the longest you guys will be off a beaten path. Because no matter what, when you look at everything in 10 towns, like this is a farther distance through a wilderness than you guys have traveled. Probably ever. In all honesty.
Oh boy.
Some of you guys might have traveled more to get into 10 towns, like from the 10 trail. In Neo, you made this journey, though you do not remember most of it. And if it happens the same as it did before, you're going to be down some friends.
Oh no.
So you guys start at Bremen, probably about 11 a.m. Now, this journey, because this map accurately scales, if you go straight, is 20 miles. Give or take. Now, how fast do these sled dogs go? Because the Axbeak goes about the same speed. 10 times over. 300 pounds.
Would it be about a 2 or 3 day journey to get there?
So sled dogs must rest after every pulling the sled for an hour. So we have to factor that in. Same would be for the Axbeak. That just prevents them from getting exhausted. Trying to find out how fast the sled dogs will run. Cause you figure the sled dogs and the Axbeaks run comparable, so the Axbeaks math is easier done with.
Well, yeah, they both
Okay, two more words. Show me this. I got the dog sled. You go a mile an hour. So judging by that, it would take you 20 hours to get there, and they have to rest a half hour after every hour. So it'd be 30 hours.
days.
It would take about 30. Yeah, 2 days, about 30 hours to get there.
But is it? Here's the thing, though, and this is just my question. There's 6 of them, so would that lessen the stress? So in theory, we could go 6 the distance and then rest for an hour.
I just know that the 10 towns overview right here specifically says for dogs, uh, sled dogs must take a short rest after pulling a sled for an hour. Otherwise, they gain a level of exhaustion. At most, I can give you, because there's 6 of them, if you are, I'm trying to think.
Well, the question I was asking, I was just seeing someone that made a homebrew for that one. Is they said the 1 hour per dog, so having 6 sleds makes it to where they could pull. 6
I
hours
will
completely.
I will cut the difference with you on that and give it 3 hours.
Cool. I was just trying to throw something out there.
Yeah, no, I understand. I will give you 3 hours, but it's a full rest, which is a full short rest, which is an hour. So every 3 miles, you spend 4 hours, basically. Since there's 20, so that's 6 times 4, that's 24 to get there now. So it'll take a full day to get there.
That's still gonna be better than taking it on foot.
Oh, yeah. On foot, you would have gotten, on foot with no snowshoes, you would have gotten there in a quarter of the time. I mean, a quarter more, like. You would have moved a quarter of the speed.
Gotcha.
So it would have taken 4 days. But you wouldn't have had the short rest as much. But then you have to factor in sleep, which you still do, but so you guys take off. It's 10 in the morning. How late are you guys planning on?
Well, actually, now I don't care if it's dark out. Normally, I would say, well, it doesn't get dark.
Yeah, it's always dark.
When it gets more gray, we would slow down and rest for the night.
Okay, so
Yeah,
My
just rest and
recommendation.
push. I mean, it's all the same time, and we're constantly short. Rest.
before we take this, you said what? You would. What was the consensus on that? Sorry. Go until what?
Because we're gonna have short rest, and then once it gets to the point where it would be relatively close to the evening, then I would say we. Rest
Okay,
about half
so
an hour.
basically 12 hours. You want to go?
Yeah. I would be
Okay.
with that, if everyone else is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Or do you want to push it a little bit farther than 12 hours? Let's say like 14. That way you have 2 hours of daylight when you get there. Either way,
Sure, why not?
I need Mr. Leader, White Fang, to roll me a d8.
Would you want
Spicy.
me to be doing the leading since I have the natural explorer and stuff, or?
No, I got it. It's fine.
This isn't like leading where you are. I just meant as the group leader. Like 7, okay. So, the journey through the ice and the snow and everything, it snowed heavily for a little bit. Theo even is leading the pack through all the snow and everything with his dog, like driving the pack, making sure you guys don't fall in ambushes or such. It's really uneventful over the 14 hours of the first day. You guys probably stop right around what would be effectively midnight. You got, yeah, you guys didn't see or hear no hide or hair or scale of anything.
I don't like the way you added that.
There's scaly things all over the place. You're scaly. It's D&D. I have to add that.
Okay.
Not to mention, you guys ran into an ancient white dragon like session 2.
I would like to set up my 2-person tent and let the dogs rest in there.
Okay. I just imagine it's Theo in the center surrounded by all the dogs.
That would be one incredibly soft blanket.
Get
If
so
it is
hot
allowed,
you
that is
do
what I will be doing.
I don't see
D&D,
why
everything's
not. Like,
allowed.
they're dogs, like, they can curl up and whatnot. That's fine.
I'm gonna clear out a spot for
That-
my axe speak.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna get the bonding with it.
Right, me and my axe beak are gonna cuddle.
What's your guys' names? The Axe Weeks.
Oh, Duchess.
Duchess.
I'm gonna stare at it and go, I don't know. You'll earn your name. I do not dictate your name. You dictate your own name.
I like to imagine they dig up a little bit, like almost a nest in the snow, and like hunker down, kind of like roosting like chickens.
Sorry. There is feed per day. It's standard typically consumed by amount per day is only 5 copper.
Okay, so for those who bought feed for animals, it's copper, not silver.
Okay.
And you guys,
I was just looking through. I just was over
No,
here
I
looking through
appreciate it. I do appreciate that. Because there's only so much I know as a DM, and I appreciate filling my knowledge in. So, Neo, how do you rest for the night?
me?
Yeah.
Did we make a fire or no?
We can. Well, no, I'm warm enough.
Yeah,
6 dogs keep me warm.
you're in there with all your armor and everything off sweating. There's like steam coming off.
The door's wide open.
There's 6 dogs and a man in there. There's toast.
I can make it even warmer.
No, that's TOS, please stop. I'm on Twitch.
Well, I was talking about summoning the owlbear.
Oh, God. You missed that too, Nick.
Are you talking about White Fang?
Huh?
He could turn into an animal and crawl in there with you.
No,
Jesus Christ.
Kelly, he's talking about that totem he got at the end of last session. But
I'd like to create a fire and then just sit at the fire.
I can take first or second watch if you would like me to.
I was gonna have my owl watch out for me.
Enjoy your time with your dogs. I'll at least take first watch. We're fine.
Okay, I'll take second watch.
Alright.
I'd take the rest. You guys don't mind.
Alright.
And then I stare into the fire, murmuring.
you guys notice the distinct, weirdly stale and like absent. Like he's not. Let's be real. Neil has proven himself that why he's not the smartest man. He's not stupid by any means, except for that 7 in intelligence he has. You notice a distinct, almost dead man stale as he's looking in the fire. For those of you outside.
Gotcha. As I go in for my resting, since I'm taking second watch,
Proper cuddle
I-
cuddle.
will, as I'm passing Neo, I'll hand him a handful of good berries. It's a good thing to keep your morale up. Have as much as you want. And I'll go into to rest. My time to rest.
You all good, Neo? I say from my feather pillow.
I'm fine. I'm just thinking.
Well, we need to talk. I think me and Arak are. I think he's over there in his own pillow fort, his own feather fort.
The axe speak over there lifts up a ring, and you see a rock under the ring.
I'm I'm like using its wing as a blanket as I stir out one way.
With the anime, what do you call it? Sleeping bubble out of the nostril.
I ain't sleeping yet. Just
Yeah.
enjoying the quietness of the.
Now, I would like anybody that really wants to about it, that saw him thinking and whatnot. I would like an insight from you.
Okay.
11, 14. Iraq, would you like to as well?
Give me 1 second.
You might want to turn advantage off, by the way, Joseph.
Oh shoot.
It doesn't change much, but what did you do? Oh, detect thoughts. Okay, so Kelly, you will auto succeed this, but I didn't mean for it to be a hard one. For you two with your insights, you guys have seen Neo rage. His rage, it comes with pirates all around him, jeering and cheering, and now you guys are hearing about a marooned pirate ship out in the ice. And he's thinking hard as you guys are journeying. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out 2 plus 2 equals 4. For you, Neo, what are you thinking of right now?
I'm slowly remembering what I went through on my journey back with all my fallen crewmates, and slowly remembering how the crash in the ice happened.
So
I don't remember it all. It's just it's when your mind goes through something traumatic, it tries to block it out.
yeah.
As we're getting closer, it's slowly uncovering.
So for you, Iraq, you're getting flashes mostly of memories as they're shaken loose. What?
I'm gonna try to focus on what the area of these memories, like, because they're not so traumatic to me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to focus on what these areas look like that are traumatic to him.
Are you digging deeper, or are you just trying to remember the flashes you're getting?
I'm just trying to remember the flashes
Okay.
I'm getting.
So the flashes that
large chunks of ice.
you get it. So the first flash is the ship in a storm out in sea. A man in captain's guard is yelling commands, and Neo's. Thank you, Deathmaster. Somebody followed me. I wanted to say thank you. But you get flashes of the ocean, of storms, and the captain yelling commands, and just Neo seems to be near the captain, just helping issuing the commands back and forth, back and forth. Why? And all of a sudden it starts sleeting, and the next memory comes by is right when they're ramming into the ice and they're getting stuck, and there's no hope to get out. Like the snow is coming down hard now, and in the distance, you hear a roar, and that's when that cuts out. That memory cuts out. The next one is Neo tracking through the snow, surrounded by his pirate brethren, though not as many as you remember seeing on the ship. And even then, some of them are falling to the ground, and sadly, you see through Neo's eyes him pick up the body, and then the memory shifts again. This time to him stumbling into Bremen all by himself. Almost delirious as he falls into the ground as somebody runs out to help him.
I'm gonna just go back to cuddling my bird wing.
I hope that did you justice, Nick. I hope that's what
I
you
did
meant.
better than I would have been able to explain.
Well, I'm happy because it is your memories. I thought that would be a good.
Just
A rock feels like he can associate with people through pain, and that's so he can take like he witnesses your traumatic events.
I
When
sleep probably an hour through the whole night.
you also kind of want to make sure you're not going to kill him.
Randomly in the dark, I practice. I'm like training by myself.
Who's
So
so Rock's taking first watch. I'm taking
Yep.
second, and then Nick is staying up.
Yep.
Okay.
I want you, Nick, to make me a con check then.
Con.
A con save. Top left. Constitution.
I don't know how to do the save part.
Click Constitution on a proficiency bonus. Should have a blue check next to it.
You see where it says saving throws on your character sheet?
Go to your HP, Nick, and go straight left. You should see the word Constitution and a small
Yeah, I
list
see
of
that.
6. Click the name.
Click the blue check mark.
No,
No, click the word Constitution.
Yeah, click the name. Oof. Unfortunately, Nick, due to you not being able to sleep tonight, you suffer a level of exhaustion. Now, this is not too bad. The first one, I'm going to enable it on your sheet because it's not enabled. Show exhaustion tracker. So, what this is at level 1, Nick, if I click up, you have disadvantage on ability checks. So what that means is like acrobatics, athletics, survival, persuasion. You have disadvantage on those until you get some rest.
It seems fair for what he's going through.
Yes, and that is just, it's not as bad as it could have been, but you just losing some sleep made you maybe a little bit more grouchy, a little bit more irritable, and that's how it reflects. So the night goes by without too much issue. Iraq takes the first watch, and after, because it's an 8-hour rest, after about 3, he goes and wakes up Theo. And then Theo takes over for 3. And then
When I get up, is Neo still awake or is he sleeping?
He's still awake.
he looks like he might have passed out for an hour, but he is pretty much in the same exact spot he was. The fire has died down a little bit. He seems to be keeping it up just enough to stare into it like he was when you went to bed.
Gotcha. I'll go sit next to him, next to the fire, when it's my turn to watch. And I'll look at him. I have been lucky in life to not have to been through any situations. As you can tell, my family's still there with me. I cannot begin to understand what pain through and what pains that look what pain you had to go through to be able to stare the way you are. Just know, Neo, if you ever need anything, I, and we, by extent, are here for you. You are my friend, and I will do what I can to aid you. Please, get some rest. We're going to need you to fight. I know it's going to be hard, but you can try resting. I have a really comfortable tent right now. You can go in there and try it. If you can't, you can come back out. But you need to go and try. And if not, and you don't want to talk and you just want someone to sit here and listen, or sit here and quiet and we can look at the snowy sky, we'll do just that. And I'll sit down, lay back into the snow, and let him do what he wants to do.
And he looks at him and goes, "I hear you, brother. I'll go and try." And then I go down in his hoarder dogs.
I have a feeling you would have a lot harder time to fitting in there, Nick. So your legs are probably sticking
so
out.
I'm trying.
Yeah. Um, I guess. Let's see if you can fall asleep. So what I want from you, Neo, is another save. This time I want a wisdom, and I want it to be because you always said you wanted to stay up tonight. Make it a DC 16 wisdom save.
So how do I make it
It
decent?
you just roll it, and I'll tell you if you meet it.
Without the check on it.
Yeah, we're about to check. The check is only for the con and strength ones.
All right.
Ooh. No matter how soft the dogs are and how warm it is, and it is very warm and cozy, you just, those dark thoughts, those memories that you are having, they stick with you, and it's too much to rest throughout the night. You probably lay there for an hour, but in the end, it you just can't fall asleep.
If I are you do you come back out of the tent then if you can't sleep?
After about an hour of trying, I do.
So as you come back out, I'm glad that you were able to at least try. If you'd like to, you can have a seat next to me. Your spot's still as warm as it was when you left. Um, do you sit down next to me?
Yeah. I sit down, kind of like do a grunt when I sit down.
As he sits down, I'm going to tap him on the back. Again, you're my friend, and I will help you with whatever you need. Listen, talk, or don't say anything. And at the same time, I'm going to lend him my eyes of night. I know this isn't anything, but if you're going to stare, hopefully seeing more will help.
So what this is, Nick, if you would like to actually explain it, Theo. Sorry.
Yeah, so normally everything's gray, but as it gets darker, it's still a little bit harder. I guess I should ask Mike. Does dark vision actually apply in this region right now, or is it always constant gray?
It does. It's at night it gets dark, and during the day it's always like dusk. So at night, like you guys all, it is dark like it would be. So dark is dim, dim is bright, that kind of thing.
So normally you don't have dark vision, do you, Neo?
No.
Okay. So as I tap your back and cast, normally what you can only normally you can only see to the rims of the fire, to the skirts of the light of the fire. But as my hand leaves your back, your eyes are able to focus. The light doesn't seem to be aiding you anymore. However, your vision is now further than what you could have seen way before, giving you 300 feet of dark vision. If you're going to be up, you might as well be able to see as much as you can. So you have it's only for an hour, but you have 300-foot dark vision. So if you want to, that way, if you're up and moving around or doing whatever, you can always see what's going on.
This is more clarity than you've ever had, Neil. And I'd like to think when you tapped him on the back, his eyes probably shifted color a little bit. They probably matched Theo's eyes.
And I go, thank you, brother. And I do that like a Spartan handshake thing where I grab his elbow, basically.
You grab him by the elbow. His hand hits yours, probably halfway up your arm.
At that, I just lay back down in the snow, and if Neo doesn't say anything else, I don't say anything else, and I just stare up at the snowy sky. Until my time's up.
Yeah.
And then I will go back in. Well, no, it still counts as long rest, and the cold doesn't bother me, so I'll stay out there with him if he wants me to.
I like to think he slowly attempts to try to explain what he's keeps randomly seeing flashes of, like all the crewmates he made it out with, but he still can't make out what happened when he crashed, so he doesn't bring it up.
And what he says to you, Theo, it's not as picturesque as a rock got. A rock got the raw emotion memory,
Yeah.
while you got the filtered, like repressed version.
Gotcha.
Like a step off of tears type deal.
Yeah. So maybe instead of seeing, he always said you didn't see anything after the crash, but he probably tell you about the storm and how there was nothing he could do. Like, not real details, just more feelings about what happened is what you get.
Well, and then, well, so then in due time, hopefully you can figure out what has caused that, and maybe allow you to sleep once again with peace. And I will help you every step of the way. You can always count on me.
And then he looks at you and goes, "Thank you, brother." And I like to think you're starting to get how he thinks of everybody.
And then, not knowing what else to say to that because he cannot relate, goes back to staring up at the sky.
And the rest of the night proceeds pretty peacefully. No attacks in the middle of the night or so. The fire doesn't bring death upon all of you. It's more, the pain of tonight is not a physical pain, but an emotional one. As dawn starts to come up and everybody starts waking up. It's about
I
eight.
like to think. Oh, sorry. to
It's
interrupt
about
you.
8 o'clock now when everybody starts to wake up.
I like to think everybody is waking up to Neil attempting to cook breakfast.
Whoa, Nick.
Where did you get those eggs? Where did you get?
Uh,
I don't want to know.
I'd
Don't
like
worry.
to imagine you say that and the one axe beak that is still like not by himself but a little bit off is staring daggers at him. Uh, which would make these eggs decent sized. But no,
Morning, Neil.
jokes
Good
aside.
morning. How were you last night?
I'm alright. How about you?
I'm doing alright. I'd like to imagine that you will look and you will see some thickly packed snow a little bit off the fire.
Like somebody sat there 90% of the night and didn't move.
Well, not that like
Oh.
you will see how see the snow like I was training for many hours on and
Oh, okay. Not to mention, when he says he's fine, you notice bags under his eyes. They're only slight, but
I know you're not fine. I was a warrior once. Like 3 days ago.
God, it was 5. Come on.
5 days ago.
But no, it's something like that.
I understand, the need to keep things to yourself. But don't train yourself too hard, okay?
okay. I'm just really nervous about today. Is today when we're gonna make it to the ship?
Almost definitely.
And if you ever need anyone to train with, I may have lost, well, my strength, but I still remember the form. And
It's all about
as
the
someone who
time.
knows my real name, I'd be happy to help.
I'd appreciate it. But I'm always training with. I still haven't came up with a name for my master.
You can just say my master or my mistress or whatever you want to. Master probably applies better.
I would like to chime up as I'm slowly getting out of the dogs too when he's saying it. And if you need anyone to kick your butt, let me know.
We'll make it a spar every once in a while.
Oh,
She keeps trying to teach me this new move.
that would be a fun thing to see, a spar between you two. A spar between White Fang too would be fun. Be a bear just attack you, maul you.
Oh, bear covered in wood armor.
Yeah,
as
that.
I do the fancy pinch that paralyzes you.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, good thing on me. I don't have a neck. Yeah, we can do.
He.
I'm gonna see if a rock is awake.
Oh yeah.
Still covered up
I
by
wake
your
up when it's gray outside.
Yeah, that's the nice thing about long rests, and this is something to tell Nick. You have to have 8 hours for a long rest, and you can only do it once per day. But that 8 hour doesn't have to be sleeping. Like you would sleep for like 5 of it, and light activity for the other 3, or sleep more or whatnot. But you don't have to sleep all 8. Is what I'm saying, Nick.
I understand that.
But yes, the morning starting up, Neo made something with the rations and some weird eggs he found. They aren't Axbeak's eggs because you probably would have gotten A1 maybe, and that one would have been really upset unless you made scrambled eggs. But either way, he made a breakfast using rations or whatnot. So what I would do with that, Nick, is if you want to, just subtract 4 rations. They'll probably share with you, so it's fine. Just you guys have used 4 rations worth.
I will eat the food with no complaint, but I will say, if you need to, in my bag I do have cooking utensils.
Like, what you guys see, he cooked with.
On the back and be like, it was a good job though, but if you ever want to use something that's meant for it, I have it.
I'd like to imagine he cooked on his sword. Yeah, rocks with his sword. Rocks in his sword.
I used my hand axe. I like to imagine you can see at least one hand axe though. Like I was using it to stir and stuff with.
Yeah, see? It's fine. Everything's fine. It's a warrior's breakfast.
So you guys get started again on your journey. Now, right about now, you're about 12 hours in. So that put you, you're about 14 hours in. So that would put you about 13 miles through. So you have another 7 to get there.
So we're gonna take another rest.
You guys would have to take another short rest. And then with the dogs, and then you guys would get there at the end of the second hike where your dogs can rest again.
That sounds like a plan.
So I need to read this now. So as you get close, the sea of moving ice stretches out before you, a featureless, frozen desert. Ahead, the smooth white surface is interrupted with a towering ship, its exterior covered in frost. So what you see ahead of you is... Let me see if I have a handout, because a handout speaks 1,000 words.
Pictures do speak 1,000 words.
Oh, I've been thinking about it. When I go on a rage, is there any visible signs when I'm raged other than my dude's pissed off?
That's up to you, Nick. As long as it's not...
I didn't know if there was like a glow or anything like.
Not really.
Like type deal.
For you, there's the obvious pirates all out, and here, this I can show you. So ahead of you, you see this ship. And the tattered sail is still blowing in the wind a little bit. Probably on the side, it probably has the words "The Dark Duchess."
I'm gonna bow out real quick, guys. I'm gonna let my dog out.
No
Why don't you
problem.
please continue? I'll just jump back in.
Wow, that's a big ship.
Yes, it is.
We're gonna go take a look. You got my back, Neo?
I always have my brother's backs. As I'm visibly tense.
Oh, yes.
Is any of this looking familiar to me?
Yes. Though it does look a lot worse for Vale, this is the same ship that you saw in his memory.
Okay.
So what I want to do, I'm just setting up a map real quick for you guys. So if anybody needs to do something, now would be the time.
Get a drink.
Yeah, I'm about to too before we continue, just so. I know you could be down here too.
I have an idea of what I want to do when we get over by the ship. Or is there no one here listening to me?
I'm here, and you, Nick.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
What I was thinking about doing is having him like walk up and put his hand on the side of the hull. I like to imagine he's going like through PTSD at the moment, too.
Okay, so I'm gonna have some stuff to explain when we start. I'm just going to get a drink, and I want to explain it to Theo as well.
It'll be all right.
I like to imagine right now his rage is on like the thinnest strand of holding back right now.
What was that?
Thank God, we're out here for such a dumb reason, too.
Well, it doesn't necessarily matter the reason, because
Right.
that was only a reason. Obviously,
like the littlest creak of the wood or something, and I come drawing the great sword instantly.
oh wait, don't worry. As you get closer, I'll explain something else.
Even
But
ice cracking, I instantly draw the sword.
I'm going to wait until Theo gets back, because there's some stuff that I don't want him to miss too.
Yeah, he's got to deal with Buddha, his dog.
Oh, Bale?
Bear. How could I forget that dog's name?
She was so adorable too. She liked you too.
Mm-hmm.
You just went and forgot her name.
You're an asshole.
Oh God.
Yeah, Nick Coy has a Rottweiler named Bale.
Oh my goodness, I'm gonna meet that dog. Now I'm gonna pet
She's
it.
such a lovable dog too. I'll have to have you come over, Nick, next time we do like a board game or something, if he doesn't mind.
All right.
Or I'll probably.
I was at a customer's house not long ago, and they said the dog was an asshole, and then they turn around and I'm sitting there petting it. It's on its belly. I'm scratching its belly and all that. Looking at him like, what are you guys talking about? It's just a puppy that wants attention.
Exactly.
That was before I went on the dig crew for pretty much permanent now.
No, it is what it is, Nick.
Oh, I'm not minding it because I get off earlier. Plus, it's kind of simpler and easier than service it was.
Oh, sure.
you don't have to deal with as many assholes.
But I believe all we're waiting on is Koi. So you guys, you do see it from a distance, Neo. What's your as soon as it comes into view, the ebony wood of the siding, probably the gold lettering of the on the side of it. What do you like? What emotions is Neo feeling?
Shock and almost sadness, almost to the tears, sadness.
Right.
Well, what would I feel here nature-wise? Is this a dead zone?
There's no dead zones in Icewind Dale. I know it's easy to say there is because of all the ice and such, but even in a land of ice and snow, like the Icewind Dale is, there's still life. There's you guys are on top of ice, and even though it's nice and thick, there's still fish under the ice. There's still creatures running across the snow every once in a while. You guys see hares here or there, or maybe a seal here or there. There's still life here. And I think what I'll do is I'll actually pull you guys over so you guys can see the map I'm looking at. You guys won't be able to move or anything yet, but you guys can't see up on top of the ship yet, though. You guys are on the sides. No, you can't.
I can't now.
So Theo's back. I hear. I was just talking a little bit to Neo, but does that mean everybody's back? Kelly, you back? Oh, you're here.
I'm good to go.
Okay. So, as I explained, Theo, they walk up to the ship. I showed the picture, so you should have at least seen that.
Yep.
That was when you left. We talked about how when he first sees it, Neo is filled with a deep sadness when he looks at it, remembering probably more memories shaking free. As you guys get close to the ship, like within 15 feet of the side, first off, you notice that the hull, rigging, mast are all covered in a layer of ice. The from the waterline, like you guys are, it looks to be about a 10-foot climb to the main deck, and it looks to be very slippery because of all the ice. But you don't feel any shifting on the ice, so you can judge that the ice is really thick where you are. Like no risk of this breaking through thin ice.
I'm gonna whistle real loud and summon up my.
Before you do, I wanna do this. You hear a loud thumping and creaking coming from within the hold, followed by guttural snarls of some creature. The ship is not as abandoned as it appeared.
Okay, I'm gonna hold back on the whistle.
That's why before you whistle, let me tell you what you hear.
I'd like to do my
Primeval awareness.
yes, to see if there is a humanoid, any humanoids upon the ship.
Let me see. There is not.
Okay.
But again, I want to just double check in here.
And I'd like to bring up, as we heard all that, you guys heard like the unsheathing sound of the great
Okay,
sword coming
so
out.
there is humanoids. There is 4 humanoids.
Okay. I'll tell the group like I don't know exactly where they're at, but I can tell there's at least 4 humanoid creatures up in that ship. I don't know if that's what's making the noise or not, but I can at least sense that there's 4 of them there.
I'm gonna more subtly summon up my familiar.
Yeah, you're not gonna make it all fancy and for show. Yeah.
All right, Duke. Scout it out for us.
Now, how did you find familiar? Is that a spell you have, or did you use a wild shape to do it?
No, it's a spell.
Okay. Well, I wasn't sure if you had the spell. I know you can do something like that with your wild shape now.
No, I used a spell, and
Okay.
it has it so I can make them disappear and reappear as
Yeah.
necessary.
Yeah, no, I was just making sure which version you used is all. Because the spell version only lasts, like the wild shape only lasts for so long, where the spell version costs actual material money, but
Yeah, I spent the 10 GP to make them permanent.
no problem. I was just double checking, that's all. So I will bring this token out, and you should be able to see through it, though I might have to mess with it. So boom. Boom. Let me see. It represents character. This represents Duke. Where's boom Duke. So dynamic lighting has vision. What does an owl's vision? Dark vision 120. So has night vision 120. Yep. Okay. So boom. So you should be able to see through Duke's eyes now when I bring Duke up on top of the ship.
Yeah.
While he is doing that, I would like to try to walk around the ship to see if there's any riggings or anything that would allow us to climb up.
Okay, so I'll let you look at that. You are now up here, right thing, if you see my little ping.
Oh, I see it now, yeah.
What are you, Nick, you said question?
Would I know of any ways that wouldn't be obvious of getting up there?
No, because it's not meant to be in the ice like this. They're not like a secret passage in the back by the rudder.
Well, I ain't know. I slowly remembered
Check by
how
the
we
rudder
got
for a
down
secret
before.
passage.
What was that, Kelly?
I said we should check by the rudder for a secret passage.
I mean, you could. But for you and Duke, where are you flying up here? Looking about.
When I look through Duke's eyes, I'd like to imagine both of our eyes have a white kind of glow to them.
Yes.
And I'm gonna have him do a flyby of the top of the ship.
Okay, so go ahead. You're going.
And I was gonna just speak out what I see to the people who are
So,
still near me.
flying over the main deck where you are now, you see the wooden board of the main deck is cracked with frost. A large hole of the deck exposed a part of the hold to the sky. The planks around the hole are marred by deep grooves as if heavy claws dug into them. Up to the north up here, and you can kind of see those heavy claws with your vision there. Up here, as you're flying up here, you see deep grooves being gouged into the deck on the forecaster. The railing on the port side of the vessel is broken and slightly bowed, as if an immense weight has been resting on it. And as you fly over this side, you see just ice coats the captain's wheel. There's nothing really else of note here.
I can help the other ones of us. I mean, I can give us a D6 to climb.
So, is
Yeah,
there anything else other than the top? You don't see any creatures up on the top.
No, I'm gonna relay that information, and I'm gonna return Duke to his little pocket dimension.
Okay. Let me before I return him to his pocket dimension. Duke, edit, remove, yes, and then you selected token. That way, when I pull him out, I don't have to change his dark vision and whatnot again. Okay, so you have the information that he just gave you.
It looks to be there's a big beastie using this place as a nest.
Could you tell what? Oh wait, I might not even be here. I might be searching.
You probably he probably says this when you probably get back as he comes out of the stupor. You didn't.
There's deep claw marks and a large hole on the top of the hall. It definitely looks like more than a crash happened here.
Theo, what you notice along the sides, there doesn't look to be really any easy handholds to get up. It very much is all iced, but not like it's not like the snow hit it for years and it just iced over. Though that very well happened as well. It looked like something else aided the ice.
If you guys want to go up there, I do have a grappling hook. I can tie it off to a rope and chuck it up there. We can use that to help us climb.
I'd be about it.
That'd be the
Yeah.
best. I can see.
And then
Now, here's an important question, and I wanted to ask this before you guys got too far into the ship. Where are you keeping the dogs and the axe beaks? Because obviously you probably don't want to.
Drop style where we're standing.
Do you want them right where you're standing?
No, I was just making it.
Okay, that's why I want to make sure. Like, do you hunker them down like 20 feet away or?
yeah,
Yeah, we want.
I would.
I want to make sure that he's a safe distance away from. What?
Probably still back on shore.
Yeah, honestly, still back on shore.
Like
if there's a spot that has like a mound that we can use him to semi-hide him or something like that.
What was that?
who you asking?
Theo.
If there would be some sort of mound or hill that we could use as a natural way to help hide them from from one or more directions. Would be
Okay.
where I would want to put them.
Not to mention, sled dogs use the wolf sheets, so they're pretty decent at protecting themselves. And the axe beaks are too. So
When we get there, though, I do unhook them, so if they too need to fight, they're unhooked.
Okay. Well then, I just wanted to solve that before we got as a retro thing. I wanted to make sure I knew. So yes, what's the game plan then?
I will, if you guys want to use the grappling hook and the rope, I will tie the grappling hook onto the end of my rope. And
I'm about it.
what's that?
I'm about it.
Alright, and I will chuck it up there. I'm also going to cast guidance on myself, just in case I need to do something.
Okay. So you want to chuck it up there. What is a grappling hook throw? Is that strength? I would
If it all
assume.
fails, we can have the owl drop it up there.
Is it Dex?
See, thrown weapons tend to be strength unless it's finesse, which I don't think grappling hook would be finesse. But at that,
Grappling hook requires a use rope check DC 10 plus 2 for every 10 feet of distance the grappling hook is thrown.
it's only
Maximum
10.
DC of 20 at 50 feet.
So use rope. What's use rope?
I don't know. That was just something that I saw on a quick read for grappling hook rules. He requires a use rope check. So if we use rope check.
Oh, they said they used the 5e. So what I'm gonna do?
Dex check.
Dex. Okay. So make a dex
I would
throw.
touch him and give him nimbleness, which gives a D6 to a Dex check. Oh, here, wait. I forgot I can do that.
Yeah. Okay. So you have a flat dex check because you're not proficient with this, but you do have your dex plus a d4 and a d6. So that would be 17.
17.
So yeah, 17. Now I want a stealth from you to have done it in a way that didn't make a loud noise.
Oh,
We
never
should have
mind.
had the owl do it.
Well, no, he rolled a 21 in stealth.
I know. I was just about to say I was
Oh,
just
he did?
I assisted,
Yeah.
but it doesn't matter.
Oh, I didn't see the roll yet. I was like, oh, no.
I wouldn't have allowed you to do the numberless twice, Kelly.
No, I
Because
can actually assist with stealth.
um
Coach him through how to toss it.
okay. That I was about to ask how you would have assisted, but that would have been
Knock your arc right at that rail.
so
Right
you.
before it hits the ground.
Right
pull
as
it,
I
just
say
nug
that,
it.
he does it perfectly.
I don't think so much you hit the railing. I think you hit the ropes up here near the front. Kelly, what's the front? It's not a
Bow.
figurehead, but bow. Like right up here on the bow.
The rigging off the back.
The rigging off the bow is where you hit it. So you don't actually hit any wood, but it still like ties up nicely. So it doesn't really make a sound.
I will be. I can be the first one to go up there and test it just to make sure.
I'm
Dude,
gonna
make
cast.
this fun.
I can give him
I'm gonna
nimbleness
cast this
again.
on myself.
Cast what on yourself? Nature's Aegis. Okay. Over the next hour, your AC is 14 plus Dex.
Can we just say I'm gonna give nimbleness to everybody who's climbing the rope?
One at a time.
But
Can I touch myself?
It's not one to climb would be athletics, Kelly, which is strength. But two, I'm not gonna make you guys make a check. Because you guys aren't pressed for time. Like a check of athletics to climb up here would be like if you were running from something and you had to climb the first time. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Otherwise, you guys can take your time and make sure you don't fall on your ass.
Mm-hmm.
But so Theo's going up first.
Yes, I will
Okay.
go first.
So you climb up and you end up right about there.
I will.
Y-
I don't see anything currently, right?
No, you see just the same things that I explained to him.
Okay.
I don't
I
hear
will.
any
I will
screams
look
of
over
terror.
and wave the next person up.
That's
And
how
I
you
will.
love it.
I
Right.
will step over here a little bit so
Okay.
that way.
So
still
what's
keep
the
an eye out.
next person up?
That's what I was about to say. If I don't hear screams of terror, I'm just gonna start climbing. Like once I watch him crawl onto the boat, I'm gonna wait a second or two, and if I don't hear screams of terror, I'm gonna.
You see him lean over and just make a wave, as you already have the rope in hand. So I'm gonna like bypass this and bring all of you guys up here now.
Okay.
Just in general, you guys are now on the bow of the ship. You guys still heal from down inside the ship. Let me open back up my notes. The quote unquote guttural snarls of some creature. And
Thunderclap.
some thumping. So
this whole time I had my great sword in my hands.
from the time you on the deck.
Yeah,
Okay.
I put it back away to climb and then instantly pulled it out as soon as I stepped
At
foot.
least you don't. At least you know that you have a sheath for your greatsword. That would never not be a meme, Coy.
Stand in the middle of the road with his.
Okay, so you're mage armoring. Okay.
I would like to use primeval awareness again, just to see if I can get a better ping on there.
Does it tells you direction, right?
You can sense whether any of your favorite enemies are present within 5 miles of you. This feature reveals which of your favorite enemies are present, their numbers, and the creature's general direction and distance.
So general direction, less than a mile. Towards the aft, Kelly. The back of the ship, aft.
That's
Because aft is back, bow, aft, and stern. Okay.
After the ship.
And aft means something. I'm not crazy. To the stern of towards the stern of the ship, less than a mile.
Okay. Thank you. I will pass that along. And
Here's
we're
where I
gonna-
need
the
to add.
act is towards the stern.
Knew I
Probably
wasn't crazy.
like mid of the ship.
Maybe. I knew I wasn't crazy and technically correct. That's the best kind.
The best
So-
kind of correct.
Yeah, exactly. Here's where I need to ask you though. With the snarls and stuff, how do you guys go about?
I would like to try to stealth.
I would agree with that.
If
That's
so,
our best route.
I need a group stealth.
Can you, Arak, whatever you did to me, can you do the same thing to help out Nia?
Yes. Yes, I can.
And I can give what I did, which was guidance to someone, if anyone would like some sort of guidance for this.
I
not
should
I
be
will.
fine. My nature's aegis gives me advantage on stealth checks.
Redirects to that.
If I can give nimbleness.
Well,
and
yeah,
then
I made it
Uh,
on the ship, so it looks like the ship.
Made to hide in which you use the vegetation.
Well, it's concentration on one creature, so
Oh
you
yeah.
can't do it to more than one creature
Yeah.
until he uses it.
So what I'll say with that is, it was made because it's a material. It was substituted by your casting thing because you don't have it. So it's not so much the ship as in whatever you use to cast, kind of like copied over you. I'll still give it to you because it's probably still the same style of wood, but it's something to keep an eye out in the future. Because when you don't have like vegetation, it wouldn't. Because it specifically calls for an area of natural vegetation. But because it's not money cost, rules is written, it comes from your material instead. I don't know what your druidic focus is. Do you have an idea of what it is?
I don't think I took a focus. I think I took a component pouch.
I don't think druids can use component pouches.
Oh no, I have a druidic focus.
I was about to say, I'm pretty sure only like arcane casters get component pouches. But you don't have to think of it right now. I just wanted to point that out for us.
Right. Roll my stealth.
Yep, I need one from everybody.
Use guidance on myself since no one else needed it.
Nick does get a D6.
Yeah, I have to roll the D6.
Yes.
D6.
Slash all. Okay, so it's 11
Nice.
plus 15 plus
Sneakier than me.
15
I
plus.
like to imagine it because I've sneaked around on the ship before.
You know where the loose floorboards and stuff are?
22.
Yeah. No, the
Divided by
creaky
4
boards and all that.
That's not right. Okay. So it's 63 divided by 4. I need an actual calculator that I know how it works. 63.
15 and a half.
16 and a half? Okay.
15.
So 15 and a half.
5, so if you want to round out or down.
D&D rounds down on average, so
Okay, so that would be 15.
but still 15 is still an appreciable stealth. So you guys are now with a stealth of 15. And I'll write that down over here for me so that I remember it. What do you guys do?
I am before we head out. I'm gonna look back at Neo, and I will tap him on the shoulder again. Another blessing, unlike the one from last night. This one shall aid you better in battle. And I give him Vigilant Blessing. Basically, it gives him advantage on your next initiative roll.
Okay. So, I will calculate. I will put the N for now as a temporary thing in his sheet, just so the next time he rolls initiative, it will be at advantage. Um. So yes,
I did switch out a cantrip before the session started,
no problem. Because
but I don't know how to get rid of the old one.
on your sheet you should see a lock at the bottom.
Yeah.
If you click the lock, it should unlock all your cantrips, and then you hit the delete button.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, that's the one I assumed you would.
And then Neo proposes that he leads going through the ship.
You do like everything is very memorable to you, Nick.
I will step to the side as best I can and let you through so you can lead.
So I'm gonna move you guys to the other one, because this one is just up above. So where you guys are after you step down these like stairs here and like right down here, you see where I'm moving you.
Nah, I'm not moving. Oh, there you go.
So where you guys are down here is just the same as right here.
Okay.
This just is the not up on the bow and the stern.
Is right there the captain's quarters?
You what you see there, Nick, and let me pull up right here is the okay. So where you are on the main dip to there's a big hole here that goes down to the hold, and the
Yeah,
sounds
that's-
are coming down from underneath of you. The door right here is covered in a thick layer of ice.
Alright, I'm gonna propose to go down the staircase then.
Yeah, hopping down the hole might not be a smart move.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's almost as smart as grabbing the Yeti, baby.
Do you guys want me to stay up top and look down in? And that way I can give like a eagle eye, or do you guys want me to come down with you? Because if all else fails, I can jump down in.
You're the one who can't be seen with, like, you might
Relying on
go,
dark vision, yeah.
You might want to go first, and since I'm kind of skishy, I might want to stay up here because I can still see down there.
And he
Okay.
can thunder fire down.
And if anything comes up here, I'll just jump down with you guys.
Okay.
So before you guys even head down the stairs, you hear the thumping. While it's coming from the hold, the stairs also seem to be leading to the hold.
Is this a multi-floor ship or
Yes.
is it...
There was an inside and a up top, Nick.
Alright, I
basically.
didn't know if there's multiple floors.
No, I have 3 levels of this map. One is just the bow and the stern. This one is the main level, and then there's the hold level.
Alright.
Yeah. Just remember to breathe. We'll be fine.
I can hear you, Kelly. I will.
But I was like,
As I grab the great sword tighter.
Okay, and who is leading down?
I know that Neo wanted to. If he would still like to, he can. That will not affect me being seen or not if it's based upon dark vision. So if he would still like to lead, he can.
Is it somewhat lit in there or?
Only as much as sunlight filtering down.
And we've only got 2 hours left of sunlight.
I'd still like to go first and slowly creep down the stairs.
Okay, I'll be right behind him. I have my bow out, ready in hand.
So as
Got
you,
my, quarterstaff and shield ready.
so Nick, as you start, like probably get down 1 flight of steps where you could start seeing downstairs, I'm gonna move you to where you would see it over here. you see a hulking figure beating on a door. Let me actually let me see if I have the actual text. But text. Okay. So the door looks like it's hanging loosely. It's sitting loosely on its frame. Uh, and it looks to be weakened by claws and whatnot of the creature who is snarling and beating at the door in front of you.
So, as I see him, you can visibly see Neo getting more and more upset to almost flat out rage. Like, not raging yet, but like visibly getting pissed off by the creature's presence.
The creature did not seem to notice you. It is solely focused on trying to get into this room.
I stepped away. What does the creature look like? I'm sorry.
Nick is the only one that sees it right now.
Okay.
You might see like some like little bit of fur here or there behind him, but what Neo was describing is he looks like he gets enraged when he sees it.
Sorry.
Like, by its presence being in this shit.
Okay. I just want to make sure I don't miss anything.
Actually, Nick, roll me a history, because this is something that you might know something on. Yeah, you've definitely seen this before, Nick. Maybe it was back when you lived with your people before being a pirate. This is an ice troll. Whether you know how to fight them or not, I probably not, because you never probably have fought one. You just know of them because of the giant blood you share.
If I creep down the stairs more, is he gonna notice me right away?
As you get closer, he might.
Alright, I'm gonna creep down the stairs so Neo and White Fang can...
Theo and White Fang?
Theo and them can see what I'm seeing more.
So he creaks down just enough for you guys to see. Some to drag you there to see it, Theo. Actually, better yet, I'll just do this. This is what he sees. And this is what he moved down so you guys can see.
I have knowledge about it. Let's see. You want me to do a history check?
For you guys, it'd be more nature. Him, history, because of the stories his people would have told.
Need a nature.
Yeah, if you want to know, if you know anything about it.
And would we backpedal onto the deck to...
You still have an advantage, Taco, by the way, right thing. Again, it didn't matter your first ones, and you want to backpedal up to talk.
Yeah.
Where it's harder to be noticed.
Okay. So you guys probably backpedal up by the boat over here.
I have never had to fight one of these before. What I know with my check, would it tell me if this was a creature that I think we could take, or would it be a really hard fight? What I know
it's
because I've never had to fight one, so I can't go off experience. So I just want or anything like that would tell me.
It would be a hard fight, but you guys probably would take it. To put it in meta terms. It would be quote unquote a deadly fight, but not the deadliest. Because CR like checks are bullshit. No, looking at it, you guys could probably take it. It's just one giant, and you guys did slay multiple in the last dungeon.
Question. Would I know where they'd store the alcohol and stuff on the ship?
Yes, you would.
So would I know if that room he's beaten on is the room where we kept the alcohol?
No, but the alcohol would be stirred down on that floor.
I would let them know that I think the best action would be to brutally and savagely murder this thing.
I
In
think
those words.
it would be a very hard fight. Um, Maybe not the best fight to do in tight quarters, since we have one spellcaster, an archer, and a druid. There, we might not be as tanky as you are, but if you feel like this is something that you need to do, then I think we are here with you. We just be prepared to run if things go bad.
Would you like me to attempt to lure him out onto this deck?
Um,
Now there's some
I-
thinking.
right. If you're going to do that, I would say we set traps for him.
I would say if we can't lure him there, at least lure him to the big hole so Arak can shoot his magic down at him.
That sounds like a plan.
My plan would be for both Theo and Arak to
Iraq.
post up and wait for me and White Fang to lure him into the open of the hole before attacking.
Okay.
Boom.
Any opposed to that plan?
Sounds
No.
good to me.
Would I know of anything? Would Theo know of anything like um, any things that it's like better to use against it, or abilities or anything like that?
See, that's a tough one because from your own words, you said you never fought one.
Right.
I don't think you would. Not with a 17.
Would I have from the
You-
story stuff?
You know this
of
is.
some weaknesses or no?
You know of its cousins, the regular trolls, and how it's widespread that they are weak to fire. Like you should always have fire when fighting them, but you don't know if that's true with this one because it did evolve differently. It's in a different climate.
So I would bring up all that information that they're. What I'd put it as the trolls I know of are weak against fire, but I'm not sure about ice trolls. But it would not be a bad idea to try.
Okay.
which actually happens to be quite nicely one of the things your sorcerer is good at.
Yeah, I know. He likes the fire beams.
Those are blood bolts.
He looks like Frieza when he's casting them.
the death beams. No, that's scorching way. But anyways, yes. So how would you guys like to do this? I actually set this up back over here where you guys can now see up here, so you guys can like get up here and aim down if you wanted.
I mean, that sounds like a plan to me.
Maybe we should have people on either side of the
Yeah,
hole.
cause there's the at the hole too. When you guys
Right.
now, I will say when you guys look down in the hole, what you see isn't like a flat area. There seems to be a mound of ice, almost like a mountain, and there seems to be stuff frozen in it. You can't quite make out what it is, but some of it shines like gold, and there's some other stuff in there too. So it's not exactly any easier to fight it there than it is right where you guys are.
So what I would propose is like me and White. Does White Fang have ranged attacks or no?
I have one.
So what we'd do is we'd attempt to sneak up on under this edge because he looked like he was over here under the deck. to persuade him to come out into more of the open for the guys up top to attack.
Okay. Yeah, because I did manage to actually pick myself up a sling, so I do have a ranged attack.
And I'd be able to break in my new bow.
I just need to know what's going on.
So
we're gonna get on top of this ice mountain and fight them there.
yes,
Okay.
because that way we'll have the height advantage too.
Yeah, but you don't know how slick that ice is.
Does
He's
my
a sailor.
climbing gear come with like snow cleats or ice cleats?
That
or
is
anything?
technically a separate piece of gear. There's specific climbing ones, but it wouldn't like help you. Like they have spikes in the front for climbing. They're not like spike bottoms.
Alright, I ain't know if it'd benefit me any.
I just used my toes. Big dragon nails.
But it all depends. I just need to know like where to set people. And feel free to move yourselves where you want to.
Like it's up to them, but I was just giving my idea of like how I would place guys in this situation.
So yeah, so Theo's there, and so you would,
Muted.
yeah,
He's down over here, right?
yes.
Yes.
So shoot. Yeah, I'll sit here so when I see him, I can ready in action. As soon as I see him, I can let go of an arrow attack.
I would like to ready a firebolt as well.
Okay.
You guys
Where would you like to?
cantrips on the steps?
Cantraps.
Caltrops.
Caltrops. Sorry, I said cantrips. Caltrops. I do have caltrops, but that might hurt you guys at the same, or hinder you guys at the same time.
Would I be able to set his cab traps down below or no?
You're able to set it any way you want.
As an action, you spread a single bag in a 5-foot square area. I have to make a DC 15 or stop moving and take 1 piercing damage.
What I would
You
say
guys
to
are
him
gonna
is
kill me
I'd
because I'm gonna have to like explain what you're seeing through multiple maps.
I would set one on the steps and then I'd set one down low in the.
I only have 1 bag of it though. I only have a single bag of caltrops. So I can only do 1. Well,
Your best bet would be to set them on the steps after we go down.
no, because
So-
I might make that's because no. If he's chasing you and you guys try to get out, it stops you. Could have the chance to stop your movement. And
Could we rig climbing gear as a second way out over by Theo?
Maybe, but you might not have, like that might make noise and whatnot, Nick.
Yeah.
Because climbing Theo
let's not
needs
worry about it.
pittance and whatnot.
Yeah, it's okay. We don't have to worry about it.
We'll either succeed, Neo, or die.
However, I will give Neo my bag of ball bearings. So if he does have to retreat, he can drop them on the steps and hopefully make the creature fall prone.
And I look at him and yo, I appreciate everything you're doing. And then I slowly make my way as quiet as I can back to the stairs.
So
And I'll follow.
you two want to get down into the area behind him, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now this is where it's gonna get hard because you two are staying up on top, right? Theo and the rock.
Yep, we're splitting the party.
No, it's not even about splitting. I'm going to. You're not going to be where I'm putting you. Just move. You both want to be like right there, right? Like right where I have you.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
If you want to be somewhere else, gotta let me know and I can.
No, that's fine.
Okay. So where I'm putting you is where you are above. So that way I don't have to explain what you see. So you're not down here, that's just what you see. So anything directly below you, you wouldn't see. So I might use that category, like that area. You might have a little hard time seeing that. But everything like this and a little bit over here, you would see. Probably a block in the direction. That way, other than the dotted line.
I can, if I can see the creature from where we are,
Probably
I can take a shot to draw it to us, and then they can head down to it.
you.
It'll be right there at the steps when they come down.
I don't know if you would see it because it's several, like, it's like 10, 15, it's 20 feet from the edge of the line.
See, you're right. Yeah, okay.
You might see 10 feet.
Okay.
You two, I need, as you sneak down, another stealth check.
Guidance? Or could I have given guidance?
You could have, but, and,
They were gonna go downstairs.
yeah, and Kelly, you can give your thing if you don't want to hold your action right now. And give that first, because holding action, concentration, it's blah, blah, blah. But it equals the same thing. You can hold your firebolt. Oh, you wide ship into a direwolf first?
No, that's gonna happen in combat. I just wanted to get everything ready.
I was
Okay.
just about to say, did Tio let go? 'Cause
I
if Tio
would
let-
have given my guidance to Neo.
Yeah, that's fine. So Nick, roll d4. So that is a 9. Still an appreciable amount, because 9 and 17, that's a total of 13 each.
I rolled 6 for stealth.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the guidance adds 3 to it.
Oh, alright.
And the back
So-
of your mind, you hear me saying, tread lightly.
Yeah, so as you guys manage to sneak, probably why he's banging on the wall.
Like, time our steps for when he hits
Yeah,
the
exactly. So you guys managed to get there, like, together right about there. Probably just within sight of Theo.
Now,
You
if
guys could
nothing
move.
else happens since the stealth is kicked off. Can I ready in action?
Yeah, once you cast guidance, you can ready in action. It's just the casting of guidance takes your concentration.
Okay.
So you guys can move over. The ice is where you see the treasure here. That's all ice. Probably within a block around it too. But all where you see open here is open to stand. So you guys can move. You guys probably have about one move before he notices you down there.
So I would suggest we put as much distance as we can in between him and us, so they can hopefully see us when we're drawing him. Like, if I moved there, would they be able to see me, Mike? Like up above?
Theo can see you now, and if you move right there, Avak will be able to see you. Just because the edge, he can't see you. He can see right thing though.
Alright, I'd suggest moving back a square or 2.
Go ahead. You can move your token, Nick. That's where you want to. So like there.
Yeah, I'd move about there.
I'm gonna stay here.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna rage as I'm looking for my big bow. Great sword.
I'm just getting this ready. I'm glad you noticed that, Theo.
What button do I have to hit to do that? I don't
Click your token. Jinx. And when you have your token, you can, on your character sheet, there's the initiative button, which is right above your health.
And you get to do it one more time.
Nope, I already did it.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yep,
I didn't know you
don't.
could change his character sheet.
Only for this time. If you highlight it, he would have gotten a 2.
Oh, okay. Well, good thing I gave advantage.
And now it's back to normal. And then I
Great sword.
will.
Where's the great bow? That's what it's called, right?
It's the champion's great bow. C.
All right. Now, what do I have to do to be able to shoot javelins out of it?
So if we look at the little thing I have in here, for magic items up here. So,
Looks like you just loaded like
once
going
on
into an
each of your turn, you can when you make it an attack from it, you can fire a javelin or a spear instead of an arrow. So you could just choose when you shoot to use a javelin instead.
All right.
What that does is you crit on a 19 or 20 now, and it takes.
Well, with the bow in general.
Yeah, right. The bow is D10 damage, 19 or 20 on a crit, and you also, when you hit with a javelin, you deal damage, additional damage equal to your strength.
All right. Oh, I rage as I'm doing it.
So what? I will give you the rage, but when you rage, I think he will notice you, and that's when the initiative will start.
Like as I'm starting to let go of the
Like when you like.
strings of the bow, I'm like as I finish drawing it back and go to let go, I rage.
Okay. So let me see. You won't. I would recommend saving raging for your first turn, Nick. But you can loose off the arrow, and then that will just be part of your first turn to rage. The problem with it is this weapon doesn't count as a rage weapon, Nick.
Oh, it doesn't affect any if I rage.
No, because it's not a melee or strength-based weapon.
Oh, alright.
And yes,
Yeah,
Life thing.
I'd get a sling off too.
Yeah, I will give you both those, and then the initiative will count. So you guys both launch. So go ahead and give the sling.
What the fuck?
Ouch. So actually, Nick, hit again because you are technically hidden.
Do we?
So once your advantage, that you already have advantage with that 8. You forgot to turn the advantage off.
No.
18. So, at 18 does hit, Nick. So I'll let you do the 11 from the first one, because that's what you shot at first. And you do extra based on your strength, which is a 4. So you do 15 points of damage.
Would the javelin be able to pierce through the back of his shoulder?
Maybe. It
Maybe
would
a little bit lower in the bicep and like stick into.
But he probably not that deep, Nick. It would sink in like an arrow, but he would grab it and rip it out and turn around to look at you.
Do we do a rock and I get the attack off? Or we still can't see him?
You still can't see him yet.
Okay.
But feel free to actually hold your action until you do see him.
Well, if we don't see him, then we technically, I don't think a rock and I would really be in this round of combat.
You heard that bow, because like we said, that bow definitely makes this loud twang sound. So you do know that they've started. Not to mention, Neo probably released, by not raging, he probably released that scream still.
Okay. I would like to hold my turn and not my action, because I need my turn to use my gloom and bat, or my gloom dread bat ambusher. I have to have my first turn in combat, so I'm going to hold my turn so I can.
Isn't that if you move before an enemy?
No, dread ambusher.
Oh, just your first turn.
First turn of each combat.
Okay, it's the
So
assassin I'm thinking of.
I would either have to jump down or hold my turn until he moves up. So I'm just going to hold my turn until I can see him.
Okay. So,
as soon as I can see him, I'd like to take my turn.
Which is funny, because I don't need to drag you, because you'll end up in the same spot.
Right.
Because you would hold it until his turn, and then you would attack him. Correct?
Yeah.
because he would probably move forward. So okay, there's you. Right Fang, you're holding your turn out. You're after the troll now, basically. Right Fang, your turn.
I'm wild shaping into a white dire wolf.
Okay. Boom. Five shapes. CR1. Direwolf. So I'm going to put you over here for now. And this one, probably you don't have vision yet. Has vision. Does direwolves have dark vision? Well, can you see now, I should say? Yes,
It
you
has
can.
dark vision.
You can see though. So this is obviously global lit. So it assumed it's bright enough. So if you can see, you can see. So that is your bonus action.
And I was gonna take a single square step backwards to get into position, and I'm gonna hold my attack for if he gets within my reach.
Okay, so if he gets within your reach, you're going to attack.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm still only seeing White Fang. I don't see the other token.
You should have vision on this. Like you should have the permission to see it.
I can see his other token on the map.
Yeah.
Let me try.
Refreshing.
Yeah.
Because I could see it, and when I hit Control L, I could actually see vision. So let me boom boom. Oh, Direwolf appears to have not had permission for you for some reason. I could have sworn I gave permission for you for all of them. Okay. When you load back in, you will see it.
Okay.
You must have missed the Direwolf. Okay. Either way, you should have it now.
Very cool.
Okay. So you're holding an attack action for when he gets within range.
And Howl. Always
Yeah.
gotta be Howl.
Yes. Neo. You can either take another shot at him, or you can switch to your greatsword.
Do I get a bonus action
Yep.
enraged where I can do that or no?
You can bonus action to rage, which I assumed you was going to. And then you can put your bow away and use your action to draw your sword, or you could drop your bow and then draw your sword and then hold your action to attack if it comes to you.
I'd like to use the rage and then use my action to put my bow away and draw my sword.
Okay. So now you have your greatsword out, your bow's away, and you've raged. The reason I didn't want you to rage Dale, Nick, is if you would have raged and shot your bow, technically, you would have lost your rage here because you didn't get attacked and you didn't attack. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it would have just been a rage for you. So I wanted to save that for you. Iraq.
He's not in sight within.
He's not within sight yet. Like right here is sight, but you can just hold like a firebolt or whatever until you see him.
Yep, that's what I'm doing.
Okay. So his turn. What you see, Nick. You see the hole that your javelin made, almost ice over as it seems to heal itself.
Oh,
Not all the way, but
another one of these motherfuckers.
as he walks forward.
Step close enough so it kicks my turn off and I can hit you with arrows before you move any further.
Well, holding your turn, you would move until after his turn because you can't be mid-turn.
No, I wouldn't be mid-turn.
So,
I get what you mean.
but
Well,
5,
move forward
10,
when he gets hit with fire.
15, and right there, Kelly, is where he's within sight. So your firebolt would go
Yeah,
off.
I was just about to say, so you want my firebolt now?
Yep. You hit for 3 damage. As that rune sizzles, he snarls in anger and he jumps forward once more to attack. And this is where Joseph's attack would go off.
Oh yeah. Huh.
Do you need me to hit?
Okay. No, I got it. I just, alright, I got an ally within 5 feet.
Yep. So you do have advantage.
Let me just
So you do get a 20. So you hit, and he takes the 6 piercing, and he has to make a strength save. He passes. So as you're biting him, he just shakes you off, and now he gets to attack, and you just bit him. So he's gonna make he has 3 attacks. He's gonna try to bite you. He's gonna try to bite you and claw at Neo. So claw on both. The second claw will be done at random, but 1 claw to Neo and the bite to Joseph to Right Fang. So bite 24 for 10 piercing and 5 cold. I'll keep track of it on this token for you. And then a claw at Neo. For a miss. So he's gonna try a second claw on you. For another miss.
I like to imagine I like backstepped the miss the first one and then like jumped over the second one.
Okay, so that is your turn. Now it's Theo's turn. Theo.
Since I'm at an elevated position, is there any chance that they would be able to give advantage since I'm shooting from above them and not next to them? I didn't know how that would apply with your rules. Cause now we're factoring in 3D instead of 2D.
Yeah, I don't think so. I want to keep it simple that way.
That's shit.
It is, and I apologize, but I just want to keep it from getting trigonomic.
I am going to use Clockwork Bolt, but at the same time, kill with Sharpshooter with it. Because those two do work together. Ranged attack is what Clockwork requires, and Sharpshooter is anytime you make a ranged attack, you can do it as a Sharpshooter.
Okay. Yeah.
I made sure it would work before I went ahead and do this.
Oh no, I appreciate it. Go ahead.
So I'm gonna try to shoot our Sharpshooter. So I'm gonna assume that misses.
Yes, it does. Sadly, as there are sails past his head.
All right, I'm gonna try it again.
You do have your once per session inspiration, and the session's only gonna go for 30 more minutes.
True.
Give or take.
Sorry,
That's a reminder for everybody.
I appreciate it. I did forget about it. Thank you.
Well, it's an easy thing to forget, and just Hail Marying one advantage could change something.
Yeah, I'll try an advantage on this next one, doing the exact same thing. Sharpshooter with clockwork bolt.
Okay. Oh, look at that. So you do hit.
So that's 21 from sharpshooter, and then dread ambusher takes additional d8 from that. And then if it doesn't pull the arrow out, clockwork bolt on its next turn will hit it with additional d8 damage.
So just keep that in mind when it comes to his turn.
That should be everything.
Do I have to minus the javelin?
Yes. You
Two.
threw it. You only threw one, and it's like over here.
Oh, alright.
Right Fang.
29 damage and then a d8 on its next turn if it doesn't
Yep.
pull it out.
As it appears, we're biting each other like savage animals. I'm gonna continue the trend.
It probably tastes really nasty too, especially to your sensitive wolf taste. This.
Yeah, thank you for advantage.
Oh yeah, pack tactics. I was about to tell you, you missed. You do hit. As he has to make
me
a.
start doing kung fu. I will absolutely start Zen ogre this bitch.
Magnum Malo. This. Stun purple fireball. Okay, so you bite him, and that's your turn.
Yeah.
Okay. Neo. This thing just tried to claw at you. He's in front of you. What do you do? You miss.
Damn.
But you're still raging.
And you still got your once per game inspiration.
He already rolled this one, but that's great to know for the next attack.
Don't I get a bonus action this round too?
Yeah, but you don't get to attack with that.
Also, if you move over here for your next turn, you'll get advantage.
Not only that, if you stay where you are, you can, and he attacks White Fang, you get the Sentinel reaction attack.
Oh yeah, I forgot he picked up Sentinel.
Nice, that is true. So did I.
I'm trying to remember all this stuff with all of you guys. My goldfish brain does not.
Thing there, in my opinion.
Yeah, because I'm gonna help defend him.
Yes. Either way, it's Arak's turn. Arak. Once again, you do have the inspiration if you want to use it. Otherwise, I have a feeling I know what you're going to do.
Bleh. Bleh. Let's go with that one.
No, normally I would say you say it out loud, but I knew you were going to use it because I just mentioned it. 14 misses.
Damn it.
So go ahead and roll whatever damage for yourself.
Okay.
He's still not used to this.
But since I'm feeling nice, roll it twice and take the lower one because you had advantage with the attack. So you get 5.
Yay.
Because you missed and you had advantage, I'll give you that. So the blood went wide. I'd like to imagine the blood kind of, again, he's getting used to it, so he falls to his knees again and dribbles out. It drips behind you, White Fang, and it hisses on the ice on the floor behind you.
I forgot something.
Now it's the
Idiot.
I was
Now it's
gonna
the
mention
troll's
it, but
turn.
I thought you were being strategy about
No,
it.
I don't. This is the first time I've really played as a ranger, so I don't think about that. So if you realize I don't do something for anybody, please call it out so I can think about it. Because I forgot about Hunter's Mark. I knew I was forgetting something.
Yeah, we were playing the Monster Hunters one night. I'm
paladin.
the more spellcaster one.
He's a paladin.
I was using Hunter's Mark and all that.
Because he's a vengeance paladin.
Nice.
Boom. So some of the marks, not quite the burn mark you guys see, but some of the bite marks and such begin to ice over and heal.
But didn't he get attacked with fire last turn? So
It-
his stuff this turn wouldn't have healed.
It technically happened on his turn when he got attacked. So
You've healed.
it basically what happens if he gets attacked with fire from the end of his turn to the start of his turn, it wouldn't work on his turn. The
Okay. However, I just wanted to make sure.
if
knew
it
what was
takes
going on. That's okay.
because it
'Cause
says
it healed on the beginning of his turn, and then he got hit with a bow or with fire in the middle of his turn. Then he
yeah.
ended his turn. So
The exact
that's
wording,
fire.
I will share this with you guys. Well, I won't share the exact wording, but the troll regains such and such hit points at the start of its turn. If the troll takes fire damage, this trait does not function at the start of its next turn. Okay, so you're right. Reading it, it would be, even though it happened in his turn, reading it, rules is written, it wouldn't heal. So thank you. But at the start of its turn,
You're more than welcome to prove me wrong. I don't mind being.
no, same heal. That's why I like it's. But at the start of its turn, all non-magical flames in the area are extinguished, and any creatures that starts its turn. So this would have been both of you guys, on your turns. Sorry. So both Neo and White Fang would take. Neo would take half of this, so Neo would take 6, but White Fang would take 13 cold damage.
I'm resistant to cold too.
Okay. Oh yeah, because you get your racials. So yes, you both
Yeah.
take 6. So I
What do you
forgot.
take?
Yeah, I'm gonna take it from you. I forgot that you would gain you keep your racials while shit like that. But it is gonna get mad. So Neo didn't hit it, but once again, Right Fang did. So it's gonna try to bite Right Fang again. Now, Nick, after it bites, you get to attack it. So bite.
Miss.
It misses. So Neo gets to attack it. So go ahead,
Great
Neo.
weapon attack it. Great weapon attack it.
Oh, too late. I already hit the other button, but I should have hit.
You did hit with this one.
Yeah, I did 11 damage. That was no joke.
Did more than my great weapon one.
I wish I could use
you-
primal savagery in this form.
Yeah. Not until what, 17?
Yeah, and that's not gonna happen this campaign.
You don't. I don't remember. I think this is 15. This maybe it gets that high. Have to double check. But okay, so you attacked it. So now it's to turn its attention on you and try to claw you. So claw and claw. There we go. Finally get to attack you. So Nick, you take 10 slashing and 4 cold. So minus 10 and minus 2.
Wait, he takes half damage.
No, he half the cold damage. Oh, yeah. So plus 5. Thank you. Raging. If the target takes any cold damage, it must make a con save. So Nick, I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw.
Do it. I click the button. I'm gonna click it again.
There we go. You fail, so you have disadvantage on your attack rolls until the end of your next turn. As a cold that you have not felt ever sinks into your body from his claws. Until the end of your turn, you have disadvantage. Now, there's ways to get around that. You do have your reckless attack, which will neutral you out.
You can. Sorry, I don't want to meta. If you don't want.
Well,
me to.
go ahead because he's.
If you moved here on your turn, attacked, White Fang could give you advantage,
Good.
and then you could move back and still use your Sentinel, and you wouldn't get an attack of opportunity for
Yep.
doing that little dance right there.
So we'll remind him on his next turn.
I
So
know.
Theo.
Go.
I really shouldn't be using sharpshooter, but I'm gonna go one more time sharpshooter, see if I hit. Doing
Hunter's
five.
mark.
Oh, thank you. I will Hunter's Mark. I even just said it. I appreciate it. Thank you. So I Hunter Mark him. And then cast clockwork bolt. Is that something? Can I do that? I can do that, right? Because Hunter marks a bonus action, and then.
Tech Clockwork Bolt is a cantrip, right?
Yeah.
Then yes.
Okay. I wasn't sure because I know you can't cast level 1s or higher in the same
Yeah.
unless you have meta magics or something.
Yeah, unless you have more than one turn or action. Basically, for one bonus action, you cannot cast a leveled spell and a cantrip in the same turn. Though technically, if you had like two actions and you cast two cantrips or two spells, and then cast a bonus, it's weird.
Okay. So I would be able to do Hunter's
Yes.
Clockwork Bolt at the same time? Okay. He did not pull that out, so the one Clockwork Bolt does trigger.
Okay.
Dealing D8 damage to him.
Go ahead, roll it.
So that as a magical spinning blades materialize on the arrow and jab into him, dealing another 3 points of slashing damage to him. It does say mutilate, so it goes in slashing because it's slashing, not piercing.
So this one is just your regular sharpshooter.
So
Then advantage.
Yeah, that's regular.
Yeah. So it still hits with 17.
So 22, then it gets hit again, or it has another clockwork bolt inside of it, and Hunter's Mark will trigger, which is a D6. So 5, so 27.
Okay.
Man, those bolts are gonna stack.
Yeah. Oh, it gets even better here. Here's the actual spell if you wanted to read it. At higher levels, it just keeps stacking with Clockwork Bolt. But yeah, thank you for reminding me for Hunter's Mark.
It doesn't stack though, because afterwards the projectile reverts to normal, so it doesn't like do it every turn.
Yeah, sorry, I was meaning stack like eventually.
No, he was saying stack. I was making sure.
It like I could do Hunter's Mark with sharpshooter. Clockwork Bolt, eventually at higher levels, Clockwork Bolt does damage on impact and damage on...
Yeah, you're basically a ranged version of what Tim was doing in my other game, Coy.
Yeah. So that will end my turn.
Okay. Right Fang.
Alright, let's continue the bite train as we're mauling each other.
You miss.
And miss horribly.
Neo. So what he was saying, Nick, is to negate your disadvantage, you can move here, attack, and then move back. Because you never leave 5 feet of the creature.
So if I use my inspiration first,
it's pointless because you can, if you have disadvantage, you can never truly have advantage. It only neutrals out. You could have 5 things of advantage and 1 disadvantage, and they neutral each other out.
So after this turn, I should use...
Yeah, after this turn, like if he goes to attack right Fang again, you could use it.
Alright, so I'm gonna step here.
Yep. Go to attack normally without disadvantage. 17 hits. So you deal 11 damage.
And that's with the rage and everything.
Yep.
There.
And then you move back.
Yep.
Okay. And then that's your turn.
Yeah, it should be.
Okay. A rock.
I'm gonna try to vomit again.
Show him the power of quicken spell.
Hey.
So this is an important thing because one, the fire is the only reason this actually works, Kelly.
Nice.
Because since it's dead now, I could post this whole thing. The Trolls dies only if it starts its turn with 0 HP and doesn't regenerate. Which it cannot regenerate if it has taken fire.
I should have been in normal form using primal savagery.
Yes, but you didn't know. That's the important thing. Technically, you still don't know about the acid. I just post that to show you guys that Kelly's shot heal, with its 11 HP, it was more important than you could know. Because Kelly, you kill it.
Holy crap! Sorry, I stepped away to use the restroom.
Yeah, no.
Jesus.
Plus 20 and plus 16.
Now, though, as a balancing thing, does it say anything about when you crit, do you take extra damage? Because a crit doubles all dice rolled. But I think that's mostly attack. You just, if it says you take a d6, that's all you take.
Well, it technically states that I take that damage before I make the attack, because it says you launch the blood out of your eyes, you take the 1d6 necrotic damage, and make a ranged spell.
Okay, then no, that's perfect. That's word that confirms what I was about to say anyways, and I appreciate that wording. So go ahead and roll your self damage. So you take 3.
How do you do this?
Yeah,
What's
no.
the local-
Because this is the most blood you've shot out of your eyes yet.
Oh, that's once again, much like the first time, the level of done with this shit grows in a rock's face as the amount and velocity of the blood that spews out of his eyes next just increases. He is upset.
Does
So as
blood like
the
room?
well, I was about to explain that as you shoot the blood out and it like hits him, you see no amount of healing works wherever the blood hits. It's smoking, it's hissing, it's fizzing, like it's awful. And as it does, it falls to the ground in pain, and you can see some of the wounds on its arms from the cuts and whatnot are healing until its body finally gives up, unable to heal the damage that the fire has dealt. And
I would
it
like to look at a rock. How bloody are you? Bloodied? Are you damaged? How damaged are you?
on a scale of 1 to 25.
I'm
Visually,
17.
can I tell you're hurt?
Oh, on a scale of 1 to 25, I'm a 17. And
Right, but I'm saying visually, would Theo be able to tell that you're hurt?
Oh, I mean, I definitely look done with this shit. I don't look like I'm too badly injured, but I look like
I'd like to,
I'm a bit nauseous because I'm like wiping away the blood that is left over on my face.
which is steaming in the cold air.
I will questionably, like, kind of give him like the side eye, but reach into my pocket and just hand him 5 good berries, very slowly, and just put them into his hand.
I'm gonna thank you.
Like, apparently, the archers are doing the best over here.
Right. You didn't even get
Shade.
close.
Shade.
We should have let him run up the stairs.
See, what I expected you guys to do is like make a loud noise up there, and then have him run up the stairs where you guys have set like archers on both sides, and you guys fight them from different directions.
Gonna howl, transform back.
I will jump down. Does anybody else look wounded?
I think the only one other person that took damage was me, wasn't it?
Yeah. So Neo doesn't look bloodied.
Okay.
Pissed off.
I will give him another. I will give Neo 5 good berries as well.
Neo, do you eat those?
I eat one of those.
Because they heal 1 HP per one that you eat.
As I only took what?
Meta-wise, he after eating one, he has 12 HP missing.
Okay, so I would eat all of them. I have 10 more good berries. I can give out more.
I guess small.
Okay.
Okay, so you eat 5, and I will and a rock. But do either of you guys need more?
No, I didn't take any
no.
damage.
No,
I'm cool.
I know you didn't.
Nick is down 8. Arak, you ate all 5 of them?
I only got 4, I think.
No, I gave you 5.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. No, then I did.
Okay.
I'm at 22.
There.
I have. Okay, so I will tell you guys, I have 10 good berries left. They are for healing. Take
Okay.
however many
Well, I
you
will eat
guys
3.
want.
There we
Okay.
go. Now I'm
So
back at
then
normal.
the other 7 will go to um, Neo. So Neo heals 7 more, and Rock heals 3 more.
Okay, Neo's only down by 1 now.
Still highly pissed off about
Yeah.
the troll.
So as your rage comes down, I'll explain this room, and then I think we should call it for tonight.
However,
Spit
yeah,
on it. You taste terrible.
So to explain this room, it's down here that I have. Boom. No, it's this. Okay, so this is that one. Okay, so down here. Okay, okay. The ship's hold contains heaps of snow and 4 tied down jolly boats covered with rime, as in ice. In the forward starboard corner rests a large pile of treasure covered in ice. Standing next to the hoard, frozen with its maw open in a roar, is a white feline creature sheathed in ice. It is identical to one of the crag cats that you guys have killed.
That I am wearing on my shoulder.
Yeah.
as am I. Cool.
So this is just covered in ice. It will. You guys can look at it. That like just in general, look to see that it would take time to chip or melt or any of that. There's a
If
door
we
right
melt
here,
anything, we should melt the booty.
and a severely broken one there. There's also the frozen door up top.
That we all can work on next time.
Either way, yeah.
It's fine with me.
So,
Well, that was a good session. Thank you.
of course, I hope everybody enjoyed it. I hope.
Oh, Meta, that plan worked pretty good, huh?
Yeah, it did.
It did.
I really like having a druid that can just tank damage. Even if,
Yeah.
you know,
Because what you.
I'm
I
spec
can't-
to do a lot of DPS, but I'm not spec to take damage. So that's great that you
I
can
can-
take damage and I can DPS behind you.
It's one thing
Get, like,
Joseph's
2
been
extra
doing.
health bars.
There's one thing Joseph's been doing is taking damage.
When I was a monk, I took damage, and now I was druid, I just take damage.
Now, I don't typically make people attack like one person down. This troll was as smart as Nick, so I could play this troll like Nick could play his character basically. It could think and technically make plans, but it's a little bit more feral than Nick, so I didn't make it like strategize. It just knew first you attacked it, so it wanted to attack you. Then Neo started doing more damage, so it got more pissed off at Neo. But you kept biting it, so it kept biting you. And it couldn't get at you two, so it could have backed up, but it also, like, it wasn't brilliant. It's 7 in. Let's be real. Nick's not gonna back up and run away from an enemy.
So, Kelly,
What's up?
how did it feel to crit with a sorcerer spell?
Oh my god, fantastic. 28, fucking 29.
Yeah, no,
Oh, man. What meta magics do you know?
Oh, give me 1 second.
57 damage.
Quicken and twin spell.
Oh, God. You could... give those a shot next time. They're so broken.
Oh, well, no, I use quicken, but I like, try
Cool.
to use it when it's, feasible. Like,
Mhm,
I
definitely.
gave myself cover and still attacked when we were fighting
Yeah.
the giants. But,
Yeah.
You also have to.
no, I need to get my next point, but I, stepped into Bard a little bit so that I could also... I felt like the healing would be more appropriate now than, like, boost myself or boost the party.
Not to mention the difference of spells that you can get from Bard that sorcerers can't, and cantrips and such.
Well, that's why I was like, I'll just pick that up and then I'll just get my next sword.
And the inspiration that you can give.
Yeah.
actually, hilariously enough, what I'm planning on doing. Did the stream end?
I'm actually gonna end it right now.
Okay.
Unless you want to say what you want on stream, that's fine. Either way.
Nah, it'll be a surprise.
Anybody that watched this, I hope you all have a wonderful night. Thank you again, Deathmaster, with like 5 ones there for the follow. I do appreciate it. In the comment that I shall call me Death. Yes, they shall. And I hope people come and check out next time. We should be live again next Sunday, hopefully with all 5 people. If not, we'll make do. That's why I have 5 people. And have a wonderful night.